No chance in hell 50% of the stadium are Edmonton Oiler fans. You know, Andy, with that said, look, I like the Zach Hyman prop, but I also do like him getting a goal tonight because that goal tonight is a big, big goal. I think it breaks the record for the most goals scored in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So I think he's at 18. And I think one more puts him in first position, which based on his contract is truly remarkable stuff. I mean, Zach Hyman just continuing to be a force. I look at this game, Andy, and I say that is Florida overwhelmed? I mean, their sphincter pucker factor must be at an extremely tight level. The body language and dejection on the bench in Game 6 was incredible, and more importantly, Andy, the body language on the bench in the first period was incredible. I mean, Edmonton came out flying. They outshot Florida 11-2. There is no way that something like that should happen in a, must-win game for Florida. I mean, obviously it was a must-win game for Edmonton, but Florida had already lost 2 in a row. And you would have really expected Florida's best effort in Game 6, and at least from the beginning. And instead, Edmonton came out completely dominating the play. Drysdale with a stunning pass to Fogle, who top cornered it. And then you just saw the entire Florida bench deflate. I think Florida is done. And I am releasing Edmonton to my clients. And, I handicapped this at the beginning of the series, and I told everybody Edmonton would win this series. And the concept that I had here was that Edmonton was just too fast. Florida had not seen a team throw waves and waves of speed at them. All 4 lines, Andy. It doesn't matter who you are. When you put on the blue and orange, you just look faster than everybody else on the ice. Connor McDavid has taken this series over completely, and we have only seen Leon play well 1 game so far. Stuart Skinner, perfect 5-0 this year in elimination games. I'm not a fan of his, but he's clearly playing great, especially when they need him. I just feel like Florida is playing on their back foot. And it's not the type of game that Florida wants to play. Florida wants to be a very, very fast forechecking hockey team. If you watch them play against the Bruins, if you watch them play against Carolina, the Rangers, and whoever else they've played, Tampa Bay Lightning, whatever, this is a team that wants to send 3 guys deep on the forecheck. The problem with doing that against Edmonton is if they can break that forecheck, they have a 3-on-2 or a 4-on-2 right off the bat. And there's simply too much speed. The matchup doesn't favor Florida. Edmonton has put up 8 goals, 5-5 in the last 3 games. It's not like this team is struggling to score, Andy. So I look at this and I think to myself, Florida's got to feel dejected. Now, I know they're sitting in their dressing room and Paul Maurice and the rest of them are like, okay, boys, we won our first 3 and then they won a game. Now they won 3. It's our turn to win a game. We've already seen momentum change. We've already seen momentum shift. Let's take it back. We're playing at home. Let's win. And they've scored at home, Andy. They've scored, where they can't seem to score in Edmonton. Florida, with last change, is scoring at home. But I just feel like there's way too much momentum for Edmonton. Edmonton is way too much speed. Don't forget, Andy, this is Florida's 2nd Stanley Cup Finals in a row. This team is just tired, man. And it really looks like that when you look at how they're playing. They're just tired. So I like Edmonton, and I will give you a thought on the total. Do you have any more prop bets for us?
Yeah, to your point, if you think that this Edmonton's going to overwhelm, I mean, you can get guys like Sam Reinhart and Carter Verhaeghe at plus 130 to not have a point. I mean, if you think this is one of those, if this is a 3-1, game or 2-0 type game going into the third period, you've got really low goal scoring opportunities.
No, I don't.
You get a couple. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No.
So you think there's going to be goals?
Yeah, so my total on this game is that this game's going over the total 5.5, and you're getting plus 130 on that, Andy. You know, it was 3-1 with 4 minutes to go in game six. 3-1. They pulled the goalie. They got over 5.5. They ended up at 6-1. We're going to see the exact same thing again here. But no team is giving up in this game. If they're down by, if it's 3-0, 4-1, there's no number outside of anything from 3 goals and less. We're going to see an empty net. We might see an empty net for 5-6 minutes tonight. None of these teams are giving up here, Andy, and I do think Florida will score. I actually think we're going to see a 5-3 hockey game, which is 8 goals. I just feel like I look at this game and I think to myself, in order to keep a score low, you need to forecheck like crazy. You need to prevent both teams, your opponent, coming into the neutral zone at top speed. You need to prevent 2-on-1s, 3-on-2s. And you also need to constantly dive in front of the puck. I just feel like at this stage, both these teams are just too damn beat up and too damn tired to be playing the world's greatest defensive hockey game tonight. I just can't see Florida flying on the forecheck, playing any kind of left wing lock or any kind of neutral zone trap. I just think these teams are beat up, and I think we're going to see, although I do think the first period might be low scoring and we'll get that sort of oomph in the first period. I think as the game progresses, these teams are just too beat up to be diving in front of pucks like crazy lunatics and forechecking like insane, monsters. So I don't know if I like those plus 130 prop bets, and I think if Florida does score, it likely will be Bennett and Verhaeghe. And who knows, man? Maybe Tarasenko finally shows up, or Barkov actually puts the game on his shoulders tonight. But I like the over here, Andy, and I like Edmonton as well. Any other prop bets?
Yeah, sneaky one, Aaron Ekblad. He's gone over 1.5 blocked shots, 8 games in a row. Some of these games he's had 4 and 3, so he's done a good job getting in front of the puck. It's only minus 160. And then, listen, I'm interested you're taking this. What do you do with the saves? So you think there's gonna be a lot of shots on goal? If you think there's gonna be a lot of shots on goal, and you think Edmonton's gonna be flying around, I kind of like the over on Bobrovsky at 24.5. That being said, Edmonton seems like they've done it with quality, not quantity. I mean, the last game they put up 5 goals. They only had 19 shots. So I don't know. I agree with you that there could be some fatigue on defense and quite a few shots. So I might look at the saves over for Bobrovsky.
Yeah, 24 seems low to me, but Edmonton has done. Edmonton's had a couple of games this playoffs where they couldn't get even a sniff of 20, and I think the only way Florida wins this game is if they're diving in front of the puck constantly. That number feels right. I would go more over than under. What's the total saves for Skinner?
26.5. I'd go under that one.
Yeah, I was just going to say.
It seems like a lot of shots.
Yeah,
especially with the penalty kill of Edmonton. It's been tough for Florida to get their offense rolling.
Yeah, I think Edmonton's penalty kill 18-1 on the series, and those numbers, don't even really show how great their penalty kill has been. And Edmonton's also blocking shots too. I actually prefer that bet than the over for Bobrovsky. Under 26 saves for Skinner feels like the right type of bet for me. So there you go, everybody. Andy Lang and I, we just took apart the Stanley Cup Finals. I'm on Edmonton and the over. I released both those plays to my clients. No need to go buy my package.